Hello, sir. Thank you for joining us
Good evening.
today. Yes,
Thank you.
yes. So this is Stella, and welcome to So You Schooled in OAU. It's a pleasure having you with us today, sir.
Thank you
Yes,
very much, Stella, for the invitation. I'm glad to be here.
thank you, sir. Okay, going straight into it, can you tell us about yourself? Can you introduce yourself and tell us the year you graduated from OAU and what you do today?
Okay. My name is Adesegun Fatusi. I graduated from Obafemi Awolowo University, the Great Ife, in 1987. I was there from 1980 to 1987. I entered Ife, or I schooled in Ife during the era where medical school was 7 years, where you first do 4 years BSc, and then you do 3 other years the clinicals to then earn your medical degree. And since I finished New AU, I got postgraduate training at the Obafemi Awolowo University Teaching Hospital under the aegis of the West African College of Physicians, where I trained the field of community medicine and public health. And I finished that training, become a fellow of the West African College of Physicians, which makes me a medical consultant in year 1995. What do I do today? I am a professor of community medicine and public health at the Obafemi Awolowo University. I've been a full professor since 2008. Just in the last 1 year thereabout, I just finished my assignment serving as the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Medical Sciences in Ondo, which is Nigeria's first University of Medical Sciences, Nigeria's first specialized medical university. And I happen to be the second ever Vice-Chancellor of that university, taking over from another alumnus of OAU, Professor Friday Okonofa. And the person who took over from me also happened to be an alumnus of OAU, Professor Bolu Adejuwe. So that is who I am, and what I've said also shows the kind of impact that the OAU alumni are making in the medical field in Nigeria, particularly in academia. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was quite interesting. That was quite interesting. You know, a few years ago, about 2020, I saw your CV online. I think where you were working at that time, they put your CV on their website. So when I googled Professor Fatusi CV, I saw it and it was over 20 pages, and I was like, "What am I going to do with my life?" and it's just and I was like, wow, that's a long way to go. That's a really long way to go.
So
Can you?
just to complete the story, at that point in time, really, that organization you're talking about was Guttmacher Institute in New York. Then I was appointed as the Director of International Research at Guttmacher Institute. But then I left that job to come and become Vice-Chancellor of University of Medical Sciences in Ondo. Just to complete that story.
Wow. Okay, sir. Okay, so can you tell us about the days of the little beginnings? Because as youth nowadays, we are told not to despise the day of the little beginning. So your days of little beginning, was it in OAU? Was it out of OAU? Can you tell us a bit about it? Coming from that to over 2026.
So my day of small beginning, I would say, certainly has its roots in OAU. And growing from there, it was one step after the other. To be honest, less of my plan, but more of God's grace, God's enablement, and God's guidance. That I must say very clearly. When I was in OAU, I learned a couple of things, and I think I'm sure we're going to come to some of those. But when I finished OAU, I'd wanted to be a surgeon, but some things happened, and somewhere I felt that the Lord was leading me to a new direction of going to community medicine and public health, which was a relatively very unpopular field then. So I took the plunge from there. I went to start my residency training, which I did from 1990 to 1995. In between, I went to Hebrew University in Adasa, where in Israel, there I was privileged to meet great teachers who also built my capacity for that. So I came back from there, and when I finished my training at OAU, I was privileged to be employed by the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, where I worked from 1996 to 2001, when I began to feel very strongly that the Lord was asking me to come back to the university environment to teach. So I took a 1-year break. I went to University of Washington to be part of a cohort of 10 people who have been funded then by Gates Foundation and Packard Foundation in the area of population leadership. So it was when I finished it that I came to join OAU in 2002 to be a lecturer. And step by step, the Lord led me on, taking me to the height of the academia, becoming a professor in 2008, becoming a few other things in the university department, became the director of the Institute of Public Health, director of population and production program, and topping becoming the provost of the medical school in between 2013 and 2017. Before I then got this job in the US to become a director of international research, from where I was called to come and then lead the University of Medical Science. So it's step by step. There was more beginning, no doubt. God's grace has been us to this point in our lives.
Yes, yes. That seems like a lot of steps. Wow. So what happened? Why the switch from surgery to community medicine? Because you entered as something there, and we'd love to hear more.
Okay, fantastic. So when I came to medical school, I came almost from the beginning to be an orthopedic surgeon. And there's a lot of reason why I had that background interest in orthopedic surgery. And by the time I was getting towards my final year, I was becoming also interested in obstetrics and gynecology. So I said to myself, I will specialize in one of those two surgical fields. Interestingly, in my final year, in Ife then, and even now, you only take 3 courses in our final year. You take medicine, you take surgery, and community medicine. And interestingly, I had a receipt in surgery, which was the field I thought I was going to specialize. That was like a major disappointment and a major setback that got me thinking. And in retrospect, I believe that the Lord caused that to happen to help me to redirect my focus. Interestingly, a year before then, I just became born again, became more serious with my work with God. So I began to sense that God was sending me a signal somewhere else. And somehow, that signal led me to go to community medicine. And indeed, I have every evidence that it was God's leading, because all the way, it has just been one testimony upon the other as I went to that field.
That's amazing. That's amazing. A lot of us are students of OAU, and I guess students generally, we can switch our interests because of setbacks and failures and all. I remember back in part three, first semester part three OAU, I had just gotten a result, and I remember calling you and crying over the phone that I want to quit OAU and go and I'm going to volunteer in Afghanistan. I don't know if you remember that. At least if I was doing that, I'll see some meaning to the hard work I'm putting in. Because what is this result? Because a lot goes on, a lot goes on over those years in OAU. So, well, we thank God for directing your path, sir. Yeah,
And now he's
exactly.
straight.
Yeah, one
It
of
was
the
tough, man.
so, yes. So when I shared the podcast design, some people were like, they want to know if you like the AU or not, because some people have the kind of hatred they
Yeah,
profess for you, and some people the kind of
yeah.
love. So I'm going to ask about your
So,
time, AU, because okay, yes, sir.
yeah. So, I would like to say to everyone who's good in OAU that to finish in OAU and hate OAU will be unfortunate. I know that some of our experiences are tough, some were difficult and sad. But it is not your experience that determines you, it's what you make of it. So, from my experience, my 7 year in OAU was a great time. Some hard times, some difficult times. But the truth is that without OAU, I won't be where I am today. In OAU, what I learned was not just the technical dimension about medicine. No, I learned so much more, so much more, that every time I think back, I'm so glad I came to it. But to also be honest with you, when I finished knowing you, at that point in time, I said to myself, I'm not coming back there. I'm not coming near this school again. But I've been here teaching since still here
Wow.
as a professor here. So OAU, yes. Many of us will have some very difficult recollections, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, like
Yeah.
the Yorubas will say that the man that put you through hard task only make you to be tougher. I think that describes what OAU made of my life in particular. Made
Okay.
me more rugged, made me able to handle setbacks, made me able to dream new dreams, made me able to navigate challenging situations, and made me generally a better individual all around.
Wow. Wow. Okay, maybe in a couple of years, a lot of people will change their mind about you. Okay. So let's go to when you were in OAU. This question is
Yes.
somehow, but did you really get a full chicken for lunch every day in OAU back when you were there? Or it was not your time?
No. No. So we came in 1980. Just a year before we came in, there was the popular alumnus go. And that was 77. That was 1977. Before then, people were eating all those kind of food. They were eating it for I think for was it 15 naira or 10 naira, I can't remember. In our own time, to just go straight to your question, yes, we were having all of that. We were eating at 50 kobo a day. It
Wow.
was 50, I remember well, 15 naira, no, 10 naira in the morning, 20 naira in the afternoon, 20 naira in the night. And the evening lunch will be the one that will have, particularly on Sundays. On Sunday, you have chicken plus ice cream with jollof
Ice
rice.
cream. Wow.
That is what we had those days. I was lucky to enjoy that for about 4 or 5 years before the government stopped it. So it was also done our tenure that the government
Oh,
cancelled, that the government also cancelled the continuation of that system. So we saw the two sides of the game.
okay. Wow. So that since you were in the school for 7 years, does that mean you were there
Yes.
for a term of two VCs or maybe three?
So those days, we used to have a vice-chancellor's tenure used to be 4 years, that would then be renewed for 3 years. I came in during the tenure of Professor Cyril Owumeshili, and then it was succeeded then by Professor Wanda Bimbola. So I saw those two
Oh,
tenures. I know, but they were not vice until after I had come back to AU. So I saw tenure of two vice chancellors.
wow. Wow. Okay. You are really naming oldies but goodies, but that's okay. That's okay. Thank you so much, sir. Then so I remember you mentioning being a member of the Kegites, the Alpha Club. I think you also did maybe I said you were involved in a lot of things on campus. So how were you
Oh,
able to
yeah.
balance with that? Yes. So
So, that's part of what I was talking about, the fact that I I was shaped that way. So, what shaped people in OU, as far as I know, or what shaped me to be more direct, is not the classroom alone. In fact, I was shaped more by the interaction outside the classroom
yes,
than what happened in the classroom.
yes,
Because when I was here as the student, know you, I thoroughly embedded myself in the social fabrics, in the social and political fabrics of the student life, even though I was a medical student. So in my year one, I became a member of the Student Union Electoral Commission.
Wow.
In my year two,
wow.
In year two, I became the treasurer of IFUMSA, that's the Ife University Medical Association. That year, I also joined the Steppers Club, which was the older arm, the university arm of Boys Brigade then. They became the PRO of that organization. Went on to year three to become the PRO of IFUMSA, then was manual, and grew in manual to become an Axis commander. I served at the time also as PRO. I grew in the medical school line. I went to join the journal of the medical school, IFUMSA, the IFEMED. And I rose to become the editor-in-chief of IFEMED. I joined Kega in my year one, and that's a different story. I'll tell that story today. I joined Manuel, like I said, I became Axis commander. Yes. I joined Alpha Club. I served Alpha Club as the scribe, which is I joined for I became a Bigul, which is the PRO, became a scribe, which is GenSec. I went on to become the late Lord Mayor, which was the president of Alpha Club. I did Permanent Drinkers Club only for 2 years. It was the only club I didn't hold the position. I actually joined Permanent Drinkers Club for a very interesting reason. But to be honest, Permanent Drinkers Club brought me to Ife for the first time in my life. When I first finished medical, when I first finished my exam, my first did JAM, I didn't get admission to the university then. So I went to Federal Polytechnic Ilaro to study civil engineering. So when I was studying civil engineering, I was one of the first set of that school in Ilaro. So when I was there, a number of guys who came to that school were older guys from other schools. And Permanent Drinkers Club was a very popular club in that school. In fact, it was if you have to be president of student union, for example, you have to be part of Permanent Drinkers. They are like the power brokers. It was a lot of fun. So I joined the club, and one of the things I enjoy, I love traveling. So Permanent Drinkers Club then, we used to have what they call gyration. You go from different schools every weekend, every other weekend to different schools to go and dance. Usually it's more than drink. Sorry?
I said our students, wow.
Our students, yeah. So I was in Ilaro, each of them has a name. We used to call it Ilaro is Ilia Orona. Orona is the name for the Ilaro people. So every weekend we are going out. So I enjoyed that. And then Ife I think it still is the world headquarters for Permanent Drinkers. And so it was the time of the generation in Ife. And everybody actually looked forward to Ife. It's like saying world headquarters. Everybody looked forward. So I came with them on generation to Ife. And when I entered the gate, I'm like, what? What a school. I was so dazed. Because I had gone to primary school in St. Patrick, Yaba, which is very close to Unilag. We use Unilag for our inter-house sports. I have been to University of Ibadan a few times because I have a family friend in Ibadan and we've come there for holiday. But when I got to OAU, I could not imagine that there is a school like that with the beauty, with the outlay. I couldn't imagine a school like that in Nigeria. So I'm like, wow. If I will ever come to university in Nigeria, it will be OAU and OIS. So that's how Permanent Drinkers actually brought me to OAU. So first year, with them. When I finish work and I don't have a place to go, then I didn't have hostel. So usually in the afternoon, we finish lecture. I just go to the place where Permanent Drinkers is, sit down, joke with people and all of that. But by my second year, I stopped being part of the club eventually. But it was a great time there because it was not about drinking. It was not about African country. I remember when we came to Ife there, the dean of the faculty of arts was one of those that gave us lecture about African culture. I know it's also interesting because we are using the odd one and odd two. We were split into two.
Okay.
I was not two, and I was seeing this man, Professor Akinjolmi, that's his name, renowned professor. He was giving lecture in the odd one, and it was being broadcast. We were seeing the video in odd two. This was 1979. I'm like, wow, what a school! So even at that point in time, those technology were working in Ife. At that point in time, so it was so amazing, so amazing. Thank you.
Oh wow. That seems like a lovely time you had. And God did
Yeah,
bring you to where you are at the end. That's so nice.
yes.
Yes,
Brought me
sir.
to school to OAU again, which is a very another story on the Zoom, but just thank
Yes.
God. I brought me to OAU at the end.
Yes, 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 sir. Okay, so
And
back
it's
to
something just how God uses different things to shape our life. How He uses circumstances to align us with His plan. It's such awesome.
yes, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Yes, sir. Okay, so back to present day. For students of OAU listening, there's this there's this general feeling. Maybe I should just use feeling, the term feeling right now, of maybe sadness. There's this, oh, what is tomorrow going to be like? Life is so hard. Yes, life is so hard. That life is so hard. My everybody says it. But so I know that over time you face challenges, and sometimes you look, does anybody really make it? Because at the end of the day, you are either coming out from one challenge, entering one challenge, and some people say the fun of life is in the suffering, or life is in the suffering. When you are living life, you are suffering, and that will make life worth living. And just from your perspective, sir, over the years, what is it? Is there hope? Yes, sir.
Oh, sure. So, sure, there's hope. Interestingly, this evening, just before I came for this interview, I met two people at the College of Science. I was there this evening. One professor,
Oh,
one of our professors at the college, another young man who used to be a lecturer and who there had traveled. So I asked the young man, I said, "Oh, are you back?" And then I said, "Oh, I don't think you're back." And someone said, "Oh, are you saying there's no hope in Nigeria?" I said, "If there's no hope in Nigeria, I won't be here." I had opportunities to be all kind of places in the world by God's grace. And like I told you, I had a job in the US as Director of International Research in a
yeah.
top research firm, very globally renowned in our field. But I choose instead to come back to air because there's so much hope in this country, irrespective of what might be going through today. So there's so much hope. There's so much hope. And what OAU had taught us to do is that we also have been toughened to face life and to be innovative, to find solution in the middle of challenges. So there's a lot of hope. Nigeria is a country blessed in many ways. Yes, we have gone through challenges and we are going through challenges, but every nation in the world will go through
Yeah.
challenge. Every great nation that we see as great today. If you have ever watched the film, there's a film titled Men Who Made America. You even find 7 men who are giving loan to the country, to America, when America was in deep trouble. But America is what we know it today. So Nigeria has a lot of potential, so that we must continue to be hopeful. And the truth about hope is that when you give up, even your potential to achieve, your potential to dream dies. So when you stay hopeful, the capacity to think, to navigate, to think out of the box, to create solution out of no solution will emerge. And Nigeria is a great country, despite its limitation. So there is great hope for this country. And I have every hope that Nigeria can only be better and be better going forward.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, so we're rounding up now. I have two final questions for you. First, I don't know if you'd like to give a shout out to any of your classmates that you remember, that maybe you
Oh,
are still
okay.
in touch with, or maybe you are not in touch with. Just maybe two, three of
Oh,
your
okay.
classmates from back
Okay,
then.
so my classmates, we have a WhatsApp group, so I'm in touch with most of them. We are in touch.
Wow.
So the first person I would like to give a shout out to is Miss Olawumi Buluro. who was my classmate there, and now is my wife and friend.
Wow, I know
My
what you did there.
It's not for the benefit of coming to you. My second shout out goes to one of my great friends, Adesegun Kuti, who is uh, in Lagos, running his own business, his own radiological center, and is the social guy who network our class more than any other person. He's the life wire of our class. The top person, his friend called Soya Rufai, who also is the same town from me, a great friend who is doing
Wow.
excellently well in today in New York. He runs his own hospital, so I refer a clinic. He's been extremely successful, and he comes to Nigeria twice a year or thereabout to run medical mission. He's still so much in love in Nigeria. He's sponsoring scholarship in Nigeria, supporting indigent. Those are the kind of people I celebrate. People who give their time and attention to support good things, making them happen.
That's lovely. Thank you so much, sir. And our final question is, do you have a word for current students, recent graduates of OAU, or maybe just graduates, something that maybe you've known for a while, about just living life after graduation or living life as a student, just living life?
All right. Living life as a student or living life as a student is number one. You must never give up. No matter what happens, never give up.
I give up.
Number two, live with a purpose in mind. Your vision today may seem unattainable, but if you have confidence in what is your God-given ability and you hold on to God and you continue to work hard, that dream that seemed impossible will become possible. Number three, I personally believe, as I review my life and look back, that indeed there's nothing a man can be that has not been given to him by God. I just believe that whatever happens, don't give up on God. Hold on to him, because it's your greatest strength wherever you go. Number four, please stay connected with others, because what you become is not only about what God has given you. Stay connected with your lecturers. Stay connected with your classmates. Stay connected with your friends, because they are often the instrument God will use to open doors for you. Number five, don't forget OAU. OAU is a great school. You are proud to say OAU. Whatever you do, if God blesses you, please come back and support one person so that we can all make OAU greater. And number six, Nigeria is a great country. Let's continue to trust God for our country, and let's continue to pray for her, because Nigeria can always be better. Number seven, make yourself a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. God bless you.
Thank you so much. That was a lot, but yes, don't worry. We pick gems. We pick gems today. Everything. Thank you so much for being on the show with us. We love having you here, and thank you so much for everything, for the gems, for the stories. We appreciate you so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Stella, for being the program. That's part of what we people are looking for. Creative solutions, breaking barriers, bringing out innovation. Thank you for being a great OAU alumnus. Thank you for representing us well. And I wish you all the very best.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Have a great rest of the day, and my regards to the family. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.